viewers, good day and welcome to Agent TV. Please let's take a look at this interesting question. Alright, this question is going to be based on bleaching agent. And the question says, chlorine gas bleaches by dash. Option A, oxidation, reduction, hydration, and fermentation. Please, if you know the answer to this question, drop the answers in the comment section. Alright, now before attempting to answer this question, we are going to take a look at a few concepts so as to get a clarity of where we are going to. We are going to look at first the meaning of a bleaching agent and then also establish the mechanism by which some substances can act as a bleaching agent. Alright, let's go. Alright, what do you mean by a bleaching agent? A bleaching agent simply means any chemical species, any chemical substance that can remove color from a color substance. Alright, let me take that again. That a bleaching agent is any chemical substance that can decolorize or remove color from a colored substance. So gases like hydrogen sulfide, sulfur oxide, chlorine gas, all of them can act as a bleaching agent. But how? What is the mechanism by which they behave as a bleaching agent is what we are going to look at and how they differ from each other. Alright, but in this case we are talking about chlorine gas particularly. Now, whenever chlorine gas acts as a bleaching agent, that is whenever chlorine act as a substance that can remove color from another substance, usually something happens. Let us take a look at this. Alright, so okay, before going to that, we already know that oxidation simply means addition of oxygen to another substance, whereas reduction simply means removal of oxygen from another substance. Okay, let us base our explanation on that. So let us see, if chlorine is acting as a bleaching agent, let us write the equation. So we know that chlorine simply is Cl2 gas. Now, chlorine cannot function or cannot behave as a bleaching agent in itself alone. Rather, it can only function as a bleaching agent in the presence of water. So without water, chlorine cannot behave as a bleaching agent. Alright, so there must always be water. So we have chlorine gas and then react it with water. Water is liquid, so it is going to give us two different kinds of acid. First, it's going to give us HCl and HOCl. This is hydrochloric acid and this is osochlorine 1 acid. Alright, now this osochlorine 1 acid, let me put the name here, osochlorate. Osochlorine 1 acid is very unstable. Usually it will decompose to release atomic oxygen, which will now go and react with the color substance or with the dye and then cause the destabilization of the molecular structure of the dye, and then we now say that this substance has been decolorized or it has been bleached. Okay, let us get from here. So you will have this osochlorine 1 acid which can decompose because it is very unstable. So to decompose it to form HCl and then atomic oxygen. Atomic oxygen from the decomposition of osochlorine 1 acid. Now this atomic oxygen that is released from the decomposition of osochlorine 1 acid will now combine, let's say, the oxygen plus dye. Remember, dye is a color substance. Anything that has color, it can be clothes, it can be flour. Alright, so when we have the oxygen that is released from the decomposition of osochlorine 1 acid to generate this oxygen, the oxygen now will now combine with the dye. Okay, so if the oxygen combined with the dye, we are now going to have the dye plus the oxygen. Dye plus the oxygen. This one now will now be colorless. So whereas here, the dye here still have color, but with the introduction or the addition of oxygen to the dye, the clothes, the flour, or whatever color substance then become colorless. The color will go. Now, look at how this happened. This happened by the addition of oxygen to the dye. And we already said from the beginning that the addition of oxygen to a substance is called oxidation, whereas the removal of oxygen from a substance is called reduction. So that simply means that chlorine gas can act as a bleaching agent by oxidation. How? Because it succeeded in adding oxygen to the dye, which makes the dye to become colorless. It has succeeded in adding oxygen to the dye, which makes the dye colorless. And by that we say that a substance has been bleached. So from our explanation, the correct option here is option letter A, oxidation. Option letter A, which is oxidation. Please, if you have any problem about bleaching action, in our next video, we are going to look at the bleaching action of sulfur oxide. How does sulfur oxide gas act as a bleaching agent? We are going to take a look at that. If you have any question and you want to be clear on how substances, how gases can function as a bleaching agent, please direct your answers to the comment section. Follow me on YouTube, Eugene TV 101. Follow me on TikTok, Eugene TV 101 as well. As well as Facebook, Eugene Online Chemistry. You can also follow me on my official page, Eugene Festus, for more videos. And if you have any question you need to seek for clarity, please you can reach me directly on my DM. Thank you and bye for now.